Hello there and welcome. It's time for another Shatterpoint battle report. This is round 2 from the Evergreen Open Grand Tournament at Dragonflight Con. And this round, it will be Mario on the left, who's Vancouver local, and he, he also brought his son along, Diego, who you'll notice if you looked at the Longshanks, beat me in round 2. And Mario will be playing against Omnus from the Rogue Support podcast. And so Omnus will be on the right. And I have Mario's list pulled up here. So he's running the Empire list with Iden Versio, Gideon Hask, Imperial Special Forces, and in this round he is using Thrawn, who he has put the Stormtrooper Sergeant and Dark Troopers with, which is an interesting change to the squad, obviously opting away from Callus and the ISBs. One of his other squads was Gideon, and he swapped Fifth Brother in there in place of the Dark Troopers, which you'll notice was the same Moff Gideon squad that was played by Donovan in the final game. So that's an interesting swap that people are making. So then that allows Dark Troopers to be in this squad with Stormtrooper Sergeant, and I believe his other squad had Vader 2, or Emperor Servant, and I don't remember what was in that squad, but maybe I'll check again later. But this team will be bringing only 5 squad points, or 5 force points. So we'll see how that goes for Mario. And then Omnus has Kanan, as we saw a lot of in this tournament, and specifically the top 4. And as we kind of discussed with Jeff, again opting for Kanan with Ezra and Chopper as the squad there. We've got the Rebel Commandos again, but he's got the Mandalorian as the other primary, and so opting to go with Sabine for that team. And this team is similar to Dr. Huge. I think his name was Ryan, but goes by Dr. Huge on Longshanks, and he beat me in the top 8 game with a similar list. He just, looking back, actually just had Chopper and the Rebel Commandos swapped between the 2 squads. So that list will be bringing 6 force points, and so we're having kind of a classic match here of Iden with the high aggro and damage versus the double revenge primaries. So let's see how it goes. They're going with Never Tell Me the Odds, and I think they're about to pick. All right, so Mario is being stuck with the further further objective, but I guess both of them are fine with that because he's got ISFs who there is one kind of hiding just towards the middle from the closer tree, and so he will be close enough to be contesting that objective already. Meanwhile, the rebel commandos in the Mandalorian squad will be doing the same thing. So neither of them were too worried about the flop on that struggle. Okay, so he's got a battle tactic happening. I didn't pull up those cards. I should do that. So it looked like he was giving out repositions. So I assume it was turn their strength against them. Or giving advances, I guess. And so he's giving the advances to the ISF to get to that bottom center middle objective, while to cover that point. So he's already sitting with 3 before his first unit card is pulled, and his first unit card is Iden, who can also move a ton of people. So all the scouts within 4, since none of them are engaged, they are going to get dashes, and then she will dash. So moving them up, he's got kind of a cool effect going on his bases, with kind of half of it with kind of a glowy blue on it. Looks cool from the top view, that's for sure. Now looking at where he has to be in order to shoot at the rebel commandos. Taking the move action, paying a force to dash and make a focus action, and also get her sharpshooter. So he's looking to see if they're within 3 to either remove the hunker or expose. So I'm going to take a shot. In full auto, it looks like, for the 8 dice. Two steps for 3 damage and pin. The rebel commando's got a reposition though, so gonna get rid of the pin. So he controls the 3 points. Omnus controlling his back 2. Sounds like he's picked Mandalorian. So gonna put him in reserve because he can't really affect that bottom middle point. gonna pick Kanan instead, so that works better. Gonna give the dash to himself, and then take a second. Do a climb for his move action. End up engaged with the ISF, and gonna do, where is he? Oh, I can't quite see his, so he is in pack leader. So just 2 damage to the ISF. Gonna have to use the force push in order to get the ISF off that point and flip it for himself. So the attack dice are not hot so far, with 2 and 1 successes from our primaries here. The camera a bit. That's alright, we're still in frame. Stormtrooper Sergeant was pulled but reserved, and Gideon is going to go next. So that would have been 3 points for Omnus. So what is Gideon going to do? Already having some trouble with those ladders there. So he does have good shoves. It's basically just Kanan as a target right now. Kanan does get some dashes or repositions off his tree, but if he was able to push him off, then that might then he wouldn't be able to necessarily easily climb back up. So you kind of have to run around to that ingress point. So he did a move action. Now he's doing covert operations, kind of just moving in for the shot, it looks like, rather than going specifically for an objective or an active objective. Trying to make sure he has line of sight to that rebel commando. Iden is also within 5, so we're going to get a free hit. Seeing some expertise on the defensive roll again. think it sounds like 4 successes going through. Taking the bottom for 5 damage, 2 shoves, and a dash. So I wonder if he's going to pressure the back point near the bottom with the dash. Yeah, he did get the wound there because he's getting... Omnus is saying that he's got a lot of triggers to deal with after Gideon's dash. So do dash. So yeah, he got a dash from his tree. Then Iden allows him to give a strain and then do a heal and dash again. So he kind of dashed in and back. Now Mandalorian is going to get a reposition. I got one character, so he double healed, so he got rid of that strain from I guess that'd be Sabine with the commandos, and then repositioned, and he'll be able to give out hunkers to everyone nearby within 4. So I'm just gonna reposition straight into the board. And then, because it was just Rebel Alliance, not Spectre, Kanan gets his double heal and jump, but not the 5 dice attack. And so Mario will just score 2 on that play, but get a momentum for being on Omnus's side still. So Omnus is thinking about going with Mandalorian now. Looking at that back point, which is currently only held by one of the ISFs. He's a little low on force already, only having had, or this will be his second activation. He's already used 3 force, so that might be a little tight for him, although he does have it slightly towards his side, but yeah, he's gonna go do his move. See if he wants to do Clan of 2. That is only 1. So yeah, ISFs have taken 2 damage out of 8. He does have to he would have to dash away from Gideon in order to attack the ISF. So kind of has to climb up to for the dash first. And then, yeah, so he has to decide now whether he wants to do the push or 5 dice attack. I think he's thinking with 2 attacks, he should be able to wound them. Yeah, he's doing the 5 dice attack. And that is in Bring You In Warm. He's doing 2 steps again, so 3 damage and shove. Does want to keep him, seems he wants to keep him engaged to do the other melee attack. Do the follow-up. Oh yeah, and the ISF's got to heal off their tree, so back to 4 out of 8. Getting 3 down this time, so 4 damage, 2 shoves, which will get him the wound. So just barely getting that wound from the 2 attacks. Looking to shove. Shove him twice. Get him out of position there. And leaving Mando squarely on that point. So he will get, yeah, the 4 points on that. So that's a big swing for him. 4 points and a momentum. So just leaving him 2 away. So that is interesting, since you kind of hear that Iden and the scouts going first really have a tendency to sweep the board, though Mario's, I think, focusing a little more on trying to get some damage out rather than necessarily taking the points at every opportunity in this first struggle. The Dark Troopers are going next, and so they're just moving up and going to take a couple shots at the Mandalorian, who is in range of the scouts, so there will be an extra hit on each of these attacks. So 3 damage and pin on the first one. Oh, no, that's not what's happening. That was Stormtrooper Sergeant. He was, yeah, he gave them both an advance. He gave the Dark Troopers an advance, and then moved and attacked himself. So we got a heal, a damage, and 1 pin from the expertise. So just one and the momentum for Mario. So it will, the struggle will go to Omnus on this turn. Did he get the two? I don't know if the Dark Trooper, if that top one is in. They didn't flip the control token when Omnus got it. He must have got it back because Omnus is trying to figure out how to get over there and push someone off of that point. So he's going to put Chopper into reserve. And get Ezra instead. So he's left with one force left for 3 more activations. 3 or 4 activations. But he sees that he needs 4 points to get this struggle. So he either needs to get Ezra over there in order to break that tie, or he would need to get a wound. But there's no one really nearby to wound. Ezra's not really, it's not really what you bring Ezra for. Yeah, you can only max out at like 6, 7 damage. So he's gonna attempt to cross the board here. Just the cat dropping in here. So he's looking at the shot versus melee, and because he needs, I think he's aiming to get that reposition off of his tree. So kind of looking for what shot is going to give him the best chance at getting successes through. He does have a jump. So he's got to do the, saying needs to do the jump first to get in melee, because the melee expertise may also give him a jump. It's got the crits as well, so better chances of getting further through down the tree there. Now I think that's going to put him engaged with an ISF that's already wounded. So basically, yeah. So basically, just trying to fish for that movement for Ezra. Ooh, 4 fails again. So he gets 1 success through for the 1 push and a damage, but they're already wounded. So not what he wanted there. Really wanted to get this struggle finished off, but not going to fly on this one. So looking at his angle for the follow-up, see if that gets him any closer. I mean, it'll get him closer, but not quite close enough, I don't think. Yeah. But yeah, I had to give it a try. Gonna get the 3 again. I mean, the 3 that he has are pretty difficult for Mario to be trying to get, so basically he just needs to set up a situation for him to get that last momentum to finish off this struggle. Because his remaining characters, I mean, until I think he has a Shatterpoint left, so that would work. But otherwise, the Commandos and Chopper, Sabine, they're not, especially with no force, they're not going to get that 4th objective. So Mario's going with the Dark Troopers now. And so they will advance into the board, looking for that back point, which it seems like is at the very top of that top right tree. So kind of a king of the hill position there. So take the advance. And you're going to body up that other point that he has. Picking a force for the jump. Aiming for that back point. So he's going to... oh yeah, aiming to be within 2 of that objective. Oh yeah, he's gonna take the take cover action to get close enough to that objective. Because yeah, Sabine is not on that objective, so he's gonna be stealing that one. Score 3. So this may be where Mario makes his push, and Commandos are going to go next. So they could probably get that back pretty easily, I would think. I think they're nearby. They are already wounded once. Not that he has any force anyway. Looks like he's looking to move forward. Probably do some hits into Gideon. Just gonna focus and shoot the Dark Trooper. Those are going to get a full tree here. So 7 damage. Pin, disarm, a heal, but a shove, and they get a reposition. So they're going to back up towards that point. Yeah, the shove should happen before the reposition. So they're thinking that he just would have been shoved into the tree anyway. Other one's going to make an attack. I think 2 plus protection. Yeah, 2 health plus protection to get through there. So he's getting 4 down the tree, which will be enough for sure. So yeah, confirming that the wound plus 3 objectives is going to win him this struggle. So just going to give him a pushback. And reposition over to the other objective. So that will be struggle 1 for Omnus. So yeah, it's either the 2 back points for Mario and that kind of 1 off the center for Omnus, or the opposite. So pretty easy to decide on that one. Well, yeah, ironically, Mario actually controls the one closer to Omnus's side and not the other 2. He has to either wake up or get Thrawn to move into the other one. And it will be Thrawn. I'm not sure which one the priority was. So he's going to reserve Thrawn for free, but then use the Force for a reposition, get him on that point. And the next is a Shatterpoint, so could wake up the ISF to take that other point for a 4-point swing, or maybe wants Iden or Gideon to go take some shots. Dark Troopers could also wake up, but only one. I mean, the one could probably move to be by the bottom left objective. He's going to go with Iden. Try to get some more damage out. Gonna give a moved dash to Gideon. Dash Iden back to that ingress point. See if he's in range. I think he might be a little out. It's close. I can't tell from here. But he's looking at the potential jump from Kanan. Gonna have her focus and shoot at Ezra. Coordinated fire strain from the Dark Trooper. Oh yeah, they're focused, or they're wounded. So that would cost a force. So just gonna shoot in full auto at Ezra. He does get an extra hit from the ISFs being in range, as well as Gideon. So getting 5 damage. 6 damage. I think he's taking the bottom. So pin. Oh no, taking the top. Yeah. Right, that makes sense. Yeah, 6 damage. Pin, double shove. He gets a dash and does the expose as well. 5 steps on the tree there. So shoving him away. Those objectives. And gonna sit right on there. So Ezra got a dash off of his expertise, so he'll get rid of the pin. And that will be 4 points for Mario. Checking his options. It's going to be Shatterpoint and Sabine left. And he gets Sabine. So, with no force left, Sabine can dash another Rebel Alliance character. So could dash Ezra to the back point, but that's where Sabine is closer to. Could maybe dash Kanan. Either Kanan towards the point that Iden's on, or Ezra. Ezra could actually break that tie, but I don't think the dash and ingress point is going to get him close enough. Yes, I'm going to guarantee that point. So I'm going to take the move action, just get onto that 1 point, make it hard to take back, with 2 of them against 1 and 1 of them being a tiebreaker. And moved within 2 of that of Spectre, so should get a focus from I forged this armor with my family. Yeah, getting the free focus there. And not sure, might be engaged with Gideon. Getting a heal off the defensive expertise, so yeah, it must be Gideon. Getting 3 damage and a shove through, so 2 steps. Just going to follow up to be right on that point. That was 1 point and a momentum. Oh, I see. They're marking it on the card. So yeah, now the point that Omnus has is the priority point. So Thrawn is in reserve, looking to see how far his move action can take him, because he doesn't have the force for the extra reposition and 3 dice. So we're picking, and oh yeah, I don't think the ISF have gone yet. That'll be the card. Yep. So ISF will go next. He has. Oh yeah, they're both kind of by Iden, but on the ground. No force for that extra dash. So they pretty much have to get, pretty much have to wound Ezra and move one of them close enough. So one is going to take the ladder up, a little extra distance. I wonder if they have any dashes. No, they don't have any pushes on their tree. Yeah, if he gets a reposition, he could get in there. That one's just going to move into range for the shot. Other one is going to take a shot at Ezra first. Oh, he's got damage on him, so only two damage left to do. So that's good for him. Good for Mario. So 2 damage in pin. And so from Iden, gonna give a strain to Sabine. He gets a dash. Let's see, is it the unit or character? It's chosen unit. Yeah, allied character. So I think the one, yeah, he had the other guy shoot is the thing. I wonder if he didn't know how close Ezra was to being wounded there. So otherwise he probably would have gone with the other guy for the shot. In order to give him that dash down to the objective to break the tie. But we'll see if that comes to bite him or not. Mando is going to do his reposition first. And he is likely getting in range there to rebody that 2-1. So Kanan getting 2 heals and a jump, and then a 5-dice attack. Doing his jump, staying on the bridge. And just out of melee with the ISF. Do a 5-dice attack on so 2 damage, yeah, on the ISF. Oh yeah, they have protection now because of Thrawn's innate. Yeah. Oh no. Well, he's not engaged, so he doesn't get protection. So yeah, characters in Allied Galactic Empire units that have 1 or more injured tokens that are engaged with 1 or more enemy characters have protection. So the other one is doing an attack on, not sure, maybe Mando. Well, doesn't have any shoves, so probably Sabine. 4 damage and pin. Let's see. Throwing that on. Yeah, that is Sabine. So not flipping that point. means it'll just be 2 for Mario. So same spot, and he's pulling the Shatterpoint. So he's already getting 2. Or I guess he has a choice between Chopper or picking the next card, which he knows is the Shatterpoint. He knows he's guaranteed the 2. So just moving Chopper up, keeping him near that back point in case of the flip for struggle 3. But he's out of range for any attacks. That range 3 gun. He's just going to take his 2 and a momentum for not for the cube being on Mario's side still. Mario did get a momentum for Ezra there for the wound. And it looks like Mario's got his other battle tactic popping up. That'll be either giving out dashes or if it's expect results not perfection, he could get some diceless displacement out for 3 damage, or choose an objective to make everyone run away from. If it's the brutality serves a higher purpose, or serves a purpose. So yeah, I'm gonna dash the ISF in. It's expect results not perfection, so choosing an allied Galactic Empire supporting unit or secondary, but in this case supporting, and they lose their hunkers, which they didn't have anyway. So also kind of getting set up for struggle 3. So doing the dash to the Ingress point back up. Oh, so the priority is the one that Iden's on, so he will get 3. And so basically needs a wound to end this struggle. Because they are currently tied for that other point. So unless, I guess he could move in and shove somebody off as well, that might work. It's got a shove early there, but it's better for melee. And then on Strategic Genius, the shoves are late in the tree. I think they're running into the situation that was recently clarified on the forum, where he did a battle tactic, chose the bottom part, which does not say that you can choose your unit from reserve instead of revealing the next card in your order deck, but he has no cards left in his order deck. It's just Thrawn in his reserve. So so they're not sure if he can do that, but it was clarified in the forum that because there's no cards in the order deck, you can't refresh. Well, because there's a card in reserve and none in the order deck, you would shuffle and refresh to pick another card, but the reserved card prevents you from doing that. So you have to go with the reserved card. Okay, so they are ruling that because he has no card left in the order deck, that he has to take the top option. So that's not great for him. I mean, he gets a push for 3 damage. So Gideon is going to do the push on Sabine, get her off that point. So now we are at 1-1. So then Thrawn's gonna go. I don't know if you can get close enough though. Maybe. Yeah, he's got something on his tree or something. I mean, it's 3. Aggressive assault is 3 to get a reposition. Strategic genius is 2 to get a dash. So he's gonna move, take the Ingress point. He's gonna shoot Mando. Probably going for the shove. Yeah, going for the shove on aggressive assault. So he gets the 1 through, plus a pin from the expertise. So, and 1 damage, 1 shove. So getting Mando off that point. And he will score the 4. So that'll be the end of struggle 2. So we're going with Mario's top left point. The one that was active. Well, yeah, those 2 were already active. That one in the center, but slightly towards Omnus's side, and then the bottom middle that we can't see on the screen are what are going to be active. Seemed like it was not great choices either way for Omnus there. He's got the Shatterpoint, but no force left. So, trying to figure out what to do, who can actually get the most happening here. So, going to go with Kanan. Give Sabine a dash. Back onto that point. I believe Ezra is wounded. Yep. So, yeah, Kanan also gets to dash back to the other point. Seems like the priority is the point on Mario's side, which he won't be able to reach. focus and hit, I think it's an ISF over there. Focus and shoot. Only getting the one success through for 2 damage. And the ISF heals 1 off, and so that was a 0, because I guess Sabine and Gideon are tied. The other point's empty, and Kanan did not get the push on the ISF, so that other point is also tied. So because it's landing on the 0 again, they both get a momentum. So the priority is the one that Gideon and Sabine are on. For Mario's turn, it's getting Thrawn. Thrawn could definitely walk up and take that, but it might be better for him to go for the back point. And he can reserve him for free, spend a force for the reposition, and get right on that back point. Got a battle tactic. So giving a dash to the ISFs. They'll lose their hunker, but they don't have any. And so that in itself will flip the point that Gideon and Sabine were tied on. So now he really just needs to flip that bottom middle point, because it's tied. So he gets the other battle tactic, which gives a advance or reposition if it's Galactic Empire Mercenary Bounty Hunter. So we're going to give Iden that advance. And so now he will be getting all 3 objectives, and he hasn't actually activated anything yet. Yeah, try again. It's ISFs. I thought I saw a tactic on there. Yeah, it is ISFs. They're gonna heal a damage. So we're gonna, I think, do a focus and melee attack onto Kanan. So getting 2 damage through. Oh, did a recover and then the first attack. Second attack. I think, yeah, he's engaged with Sabine. Don't know if he's engaged with someone else, maybe a rebel commando. So he's gonna do an attack on Sabine. So we're getting 2 damage and a pin, but he's already pinned, so that'll be 3 damage on Sabine. And Mario gets 4 points. So the one with Kanan, Iden, and an ISF. The bottom center is priority for Omnus. So Kanan's going to activate. Sabine will get the dash, which will remove the pin. Kanan doesn't need to dash anywhere. He's already on the point. He's going to focus. And he's swapping into Ceresu. Actually rolling some crits this time. So he finally gets a full tree out of Kanan instead of just 1 step. Oh yeah, they have 7 and protection because they are injured and engaged. That's from Thrawn's identity. So taking this, doing the 7 damage, 2 pushes and expose. The protection will take that down to 6, so they will survive this attack. But he gets a force push off the tree, which will send Iden flying away. Also, yeah, got the shoves off on ISF, so he will claim that point, that objective for 2 points. And get a momentum for it being on Mario's side still. And Mario gets the Shatterpoint. He has to get somebody there, either 2 bodies there, or somebody who can push Kanan off. The priority is not that objective. It's the one he already has with Gideon ISF. Yeah, Gideon ISF there. So he could kind of hold position and go for wound, maybe? Wound Sabine. Dark Troopers. Yeah, so I don't think he's aiming to go get that bottom point. Probably gonna reinforce the other objectives and try to get a wound out of here. He's looking at trying to get the one Dark Trooper, I think, over towards Kanan. Spend 2 for their jump boots. It's going up to the ingress point. They have they do have range 5 gun, so we'll see if he's going to check range to Sabine in case he needs a second shot, or no, he's looking at Kanan. I do have a shove on 1, so it's possible he could be looking to shove Kanan off. Kanan, yeah, he's on Ceresu, so it doesn't have a dash or reposition back on the tree. Jump is really what he would need to get back up if he gets shoved off. So he's getting 2 through for 2 damage. Doing the attack on Sabine first. So 2 damage. Push and pin. Throwing a strain out of the commandos. And he's going to dash right onto the point. I believe, yeah, he's getting the wound on that. I think, yeah. I think, because Mario has 3 to 0 on that point just off the center, which Mando is close to. So, but he's not going to flip that just by moving there. Might be better for him to actually go towards Kanan's point, because then he'll put 2 bodies on that point and make it impossible to flip. Whereas the other Dark Trooper is about to attack and possibly shove Kanan off. So yeah, Omnus is looking at the fact that he could reinforce that point with Kanan, but then he's really committing to just the one spot and will have no chance really at winning, because he needs to be able to threaten those other objectives. So looking at kind of dashing him towards the back, or doing the reposition towards the back point that Thrawn's sitting on. Yeah, that's a good option there too. Take the ingress point up, be engaged with the Dark Trooper. Now he can't attack Kanan. And he's still kind of moving towards the back-ish. So now that attack has to go into Mando. So now he's going to take his second action to move. Staying engaged with Mando. Oh, maybe that was the priority. Maybe Kanan was the priority. Okay, because yeah, he's only scoring 2 there. Now it's the objective that is 3-0 currently, so that's going to be a hard one for Omnus to take. Oh, and it was mission critical. So Mario would have gotten a momentum off of that. Going with the Republic Commandos, he's taking the damage from the strain as he does Commando Doctrine to move them in. Get a focus action. So Gideon, looking at Gideon, who has 4 damage left, or 4 health left. No protection. SF, I think only have 1 health left as well. They've got protection. So there's a possibility for him to wound both. That would leave the Dark Trooper there. But if he can get both the commandos onto the point, then he can flip it. If he wounds Gideon and the ISF. This one's going to shoot ISF. Try to get that easy wound first. They were exposed, so no blocks for Mario. So getting the damage. Damage shove. Pin. Getting the wound on them there. I think he went the double shove route to get some heals. Now the shot on Gideon. He's getting a heal off his expertise. Getting pin shove 2 damage. 1, well, he'll probably heal the pin off. Okay, sealing 1 of the damage, leaving the pin on. Commandos are moving in, but that point is tied 2-2. Oh, Chopper's down there too. I did not know that. Okay, so he did 3-2 get that point. So he does get the 3 and a momentum for mission critical and a momentum for it being on Mario's side. So Mario's getting a momentum for mission critical So if he can get 3 points or 2 in a momentum, he will win. He is going to go Thrawn. Thrawn is free to leave that point. He can make his move and do a reposition, which would add 3 more dice. So it does give him a good opportunity to either be able to shove someone off or do some decent damage. He's going to do his active ability. Who's he going to try to shove off? So we got there. He's looking at the commandos for a wound. And Thrawn is on aggressive assault. Gets the wound, flips that point, and therefore wins the game. So that's that initial 0 point turn on struggle 3 definitely was not the start Omnus wanted. Put him at a disadvantage. He did start getting some traction again and pulling it back, but especially with Mission Critical having started, just not enough time to be able to pull that fully back, but put in a solid effort to keep that struggle 3, keep it so that Mario had to be quite active still to finish off that game. So interesting game between Iden Thrawn, which I've seen some talk online. People have kind of said that it's not the greatest pairing because Thrawn only brings 2 force, and the Iden squad wants more force to play with, but really with all that out of activation movement that Thrawn and his mainly his battle tactics brings, as well as the reserve reposition there, really didn't feel the crunch so much for that. Now, what was interesting is that Mario kind of set up the scouts, specifically Iden and Gideon. I think Iden was the one who was up on the center point when it wasn't active up in that tree. Gideon also spent basically the whole game near the center, and yeah, he got his 3 points at the beginning of struggle 1, and then just moved Iden and Gideon into the middle of the board, starting to get that damage out and being in position to get that extra hit on each of his attacks from Gideon's active ability, or not active, innate ability. So really setting himself up for the attrition game, and basically going into it planning for the game to go to 3 struggles, and but just use that time to do as much damage and wounding as possible. And so, yeah, interesting. Just kind of not that he wasn't super active struggle one, but he there were definitely turns where he didn't focus on the objectives. And so in that struggle, Omnus saw his opportunity to take struggle one and got used the force that he needed in order to seal that deal and make sure that he was actively getting those points and closing it out, probably realizing that Mario was going to kind of sit there and just do as much damage as possible to set things up for the future struggles. So definitely it was better to try and finish that struggle off quickly so that Mario isn't getting as much time to get that damage through. But it really, his force economy, or his force points were very much lacking in struggle 2, which it's fine for him to lose struggle 2 because he'd already won struggle 1. But even for that first turn in struggle 3, he at that point didn't have any force. He had a Shatterpoint, but no force to work with, which made it difficult for him to get, in that case, any of the points at the start of struggle 3. Whereas if he had the force, he might have been able to make a play that was more guaranteed to get him a point or two, rather than going with Kanan, who had the best chance of affecting at least what was the priority objective, I think, without using any force. But Kanan was not rolling well on his attacks at first, until finally that one attack where he got a full tree, which is not typical, it sounds, of Kanan. So Kanan, I think Omnus was saying, Kanan kind of dropping the ball on him in this game, at least early on. But interesting, another Kanan pairing, Kanan Mando. I don't know if we have another one of those on the camera. That was the team that I ended up playing in the top 8 match, as I mentioned before. And it does kind of confirm, though, from what I've seen people talking about online about the revenge triggers, that Mando, yeah, he's going to move, and do a full reposition when you wound someone, and give out hunkers, do some healing. But it's not, with all of the revenge triggers that are out there now, it's not really quite as scary as someone who's going to move and attack and potentially push you back off the point, as well as jumping on the point and or wound the active unit in their revenge attack. So yeah, he's going to move around, and if it was tied and you wounded somebody, he can jump onto, or reposition onto that point and retie it so that you don't take it. But that's the extent of his ability to kind of affect the point you're going for. So not that he's bad, or that it's a bad revenge ability, but Just compared to what's out there, I think it's one of the less worrying ones for your opponent. But anyway, that is round 2. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and subscribe if you want to be notified when I get the next one out.